Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of lessons, and each one of us will make mistakes along the way. But by avoiding these 12 common mistakes, you can create a life of purpose, success, and fulfillment. Always remember, the greatest investment you can make is in yourself. Learn from your mistakes, embrace your challenges, and never stop striving to be the best version of yourself. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is not knowing your purpose. Without a clear understanding of why you are here, life becomes a confusing journey and you can easily lose direction. Many people go through life simply reacting to circumstances, drifting from one day to the next, without a true sense of what they are meant to accomplish. They wake up every morning without a reason to get excited about the day. If you are someone who has not yet discovered your purpose, or if you're unsure about your life's direction, I want to encourage you to stop and take a deeper look at your life, your passions, and the things that ignite a fire within you. Purpose is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. Purpose is not just a concept. It's a powerful driving force that shapes your actions, your thoughts, and the way you interact with the world. When you know your purpose, you wake up every day with intention. You know exactly what you're working toward, and you have the clarity to make decisions that align with that vision. This understanding acts as a compass, guiding you through both the good times and the challenges you will undoubtedly face along the way. When you live without purpose, you end up wasting precious years on things that don't truly matter. You may achieve short-term successes or gain temporary satisfaction, but in the end, you'll realize that something is missing. This can lead to a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction, because deep down, you know you are not living in alignment with your true calling. You may even find yourself feeling trapped in a cycle, working hard but not getting anywhere, as if you're constantly spinning your wheels. On the other hand, discovering your purpose can completely transform your life. Purpose gives you focus, direction, and a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond external rewards like money, recognition, or material possessions. It's about waking up each day and knowing that you are doing something meaningful, something that resonates with your core values and brings you joy. It's the difference between living for the weekend or vacation and living every day with passion and enthusiasm, regardless of the day of the week or where you are. Knowing your purpose also gives you resilience. Life is full of challenges and the road to success is rarely smooth. But when you are clear on your purpose, those challenges become opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Purpose provides a deeper sense of meaning, which makes it easier to push through difficult times. It reminds you that your struggles are part of a bigger picture, that they are helping you grow into the person you are meant to be. Without a purpose, setbacks can feel like personal failures that are difficult to overcome. But when you know your purpose, you understand that every challenge is simply part of the journey and that each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your true destiny. The process of discovering your purpose may not always be easy or quick. For some, it takes years of trial and error, of searching, failing, and then trying again. But this search is worth it. Finding your purpose isn't something that will happen overnight. It requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to look deeply within yourself. Reflect on your passions, the things that bring you joy, and the experiences that have shaped you. Consider the times in your life when you felt most alive, when you felt you were making a difference or contributing something of value. These moments can offer vital clues to your purpose. Sometimes people are afraid to pursue their purpose because they fear it will be difficult or uncertain. The truth is, purpose is not always about taking the easiest or most comfortable path. It is about living authentically and finding alignment between who you are and what you do. It may mean stepping out of your comfort zone, facing fears and taking risks. But the rewards are immeasurable. When you are living in alignment with your purpose, you are operating at your highest potential. Your work becomes an extension of your passion, and your impact on the world is magnified. It's also important to recognize that purpose can evolve over time. What you felt called to do at one point in your life may shift as you grow and gain new experiences. That's okay. Purpose is not a fixed destination, but rather an ongoing journey. Be open to the changes that may come and the lessons that come with them. Trust that as you grow and evolve, your purpose will reveal itself in new ways. Living with purpose is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It's not just about achieving external success, but about living a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and true to who you are. So if you haven't already, take the time to find your purpose. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never come. Start today by asking yourself the questions that will lead you to a deeper understanding of your true calling. Be patient with the process, but most importantly, take action. The sooner you align with your purpose, the sooner you will experience the life of abundance, fulfillment, and success that you are meant to live. Your purpose is waiting for you, and it's time to embrace it fully. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can shape our lives, but it is also one of the most dangerous if we allow it to control us. Fear, when unchecked, can paralyze us, stop us from moving forward, and prevent us from reaching our full potential. It can convince us that we are not good enough, not capable enough, or not worthy of success. But if we allow fear to dictate our decisions and our actions, we are essentially handing over control of our lives to something that was never meant to have that kind of power. The mistake many people make is letting fear rule them instead of using it as a tool for growth. Fear, when managed properly, can become a catalyst for change, but it's essential to understand how to keep it in its rightful place. Fear is natural. It's part of being human, and it's a protective mechanism designed to alert us to danger and help us avoid harm. Fear has its place. It keeps us safe in dangerous situations and ensures our survival. However, the problem arises when fear becomes disproportionate to the threat we face. It begins to influence our daily choices, our ambitions, and our confidence. Fear often manifests itself as a voice in our heads telling us that we are not good enough, that we will fail, or that we are unprepared for the challenges ahead. This voice can be loud and convincing, especially when we're about to step into unfamiliar territory. And when we listen to it, we may hesitate to take action, avoiding risks that could ultimately lead to growth and progress. One of the biggest mistakes we make in life is letting the fear of failure keep us from trying in the first place. The fear of failure holds many people back from pursuing their dreams, from stepping out of their comfort zones, and from taking risks that could ultimately lead to great rewards. It's easier to stay where we are, in the familiar, than to venture into the unknown where success is uncertain. But the truth is, no great achievement has ever come without a degree of risk. Failure is not the end of the road. It is merely a step along the journey. Every successful person has encountered failure, but what distinguishes them from others is their ability to use failure as a learning experience, not as a reason to give up. When we allow fear to control us, we make decisions based on what we're afraid of rather than what we truly want or what is best for us. We opt for comfort, for safety, for what feels secure, even if it means sacrificing our potential. Fear may keep us from applying for that job we truly want, from starting that business we've dreamed about, or from having the difficult conversation that could improve our relationship. But in doing so, fear confines us to a life of mediocrity, keeping us stuck in a cycle of what-ifs and missed opportunities. The fear of judgment is another aspect that can paralyze us. We often worry about what others will think of our actions, our ideas, or our choices. But here's the truth. No one else has the power to define your success except you. People will always have opinions, and they will not always agree with the path you take. But their opinions do not dictate your destiny. If you let the fear of what others think control your decisions, you will never live authentically. The key to living a fulfilled life is to trust yourself and your vision, even when others do not understand it. When you live your life for the approval of others, you lose sight of who you really are and what you are meant to accomplish. Another mistake many people make is allowing the fear of uncertainty to stop them from taking action. The unknown is a scary place, and it's natural to want to have certainty and clarity before making a move. But life is inherently uncertain, and waiting for the perfect moment to act may mean waiting forever. If you continue to wait for the fear to subside before you take action, you'll miss countless opportunities. The key is to take action despite the fear. You won't have all the answers, but as you move forward, the path will begin to unfold. You'll learn along the way, and with each step, your confidence will grow. It's important to remember that fear is not an enemy, but a signal. It's telling you that something meaningful is at stake, that you're on the verge of a breakthrough, or that you are about to step outside your comfort zone and into growth. When you feel fear, rather than retreating from it, lean into it. Acknowledge it, but don't let it paralyze you. Use it as a sign that you are on the right track, that you are about to take a step that will help you grow, expand, and evolve into the person you are meant to become. To overcome the grip of fear, it's crucial to develop a mindset of courage and resilience. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, learn from failures, and keep going. Fear will always be present, but it doesn't have to dictate your life. It's your choice whether you let it hold you back or use it as a stepping stone to success. In conclusion, fear is a natural part of life, but it should never be allowed to control you. Don't let the fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty keep you from living the life you are meant to live. Embrace fear as a signal that you are moving towards something great, and take action despite it. With courage, resilience, and a willingness to face your fears head on, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Remember, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the fear you allow to hold you back. Step through it, and you will find a life beyond your wildest expectations. One of the most common and destructive mistakes we can make in life is the tendency to compare ourselves to others. This habit can drain our energy, sabotage our self-consciousness, and rob us of the joy that comes from simply being who we are. In a world where social media constantly bombards us with carefully curated images of other people's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that everyone else has it together, that everyone else is ahead of us, and that we are somehow lacking. But let me tell you this, comparing yourself to others is a fast track to unhappiness and unfulfillment. It's a dangerous game that takes away your peace and clouds your vision of your own path to success. The truth is that comparison is inherently flawed. No two people are alike, and no two journeys are the same. Each of us has unique circumstances, experiences, strengths, and weaknesses that shape who we are and where we're headed. When you compare your progress to someone else's, you fail to consider the different challenges and opportunities they've faced along the way. What you see on the surface, especially in the age of social media, is rarely the full picture. People often showcase the highlights of their lives, their achievements and their successes, but they rarely share the struggles, the failures, and the behind-the-scenes work that went into those accomplishments. When you base your self-worth or sense of progress on what others are doing, you are comparing apples to oranges, and it's bound to leave you feeling inadequate. This constant comparison also leads to a mindset of competition rather than collaboration. Life is not a race. You are not in competition with anyone except for the person you were yesterday. It's crucial to recognize that your worth is not determined by how you measure up to someone else's achievements. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free yourself from the unrealistic expectations that society often places on individuals. You open yourself up to the possibility of embracing your own unique journey with all its twists, turns, and moments of growth. You are on your own path, and it's okay if it looks different from someone else's. One of the most damaging aspects of comparison is that it can cause you to doubt your own abilities and decisions. When you see someone else succeeding in ways you haven't yet, it's easy to think that you're somehow falling behind. You may begin to second-guess your choices, question your skills, or wonder if you'll ever achieve the same level of success. But what you fail to realize is that every individual's journey is unique. Some people may appear to be ahead of you in their career, relationships, or financial success, but you don't know the sacrifices, struggles, or obstacles they've had to face to get there. Likewise, your success may look different from someone else's, but that doesn't mean it's any less meaningful or valuable. In fact, comparing yourself to others can actually prevent you from seeing how far you've come. We often focus so much on what we don't have or what we haven't achieved that we overlook the progress we've already made. Instead of acknowledging your own growth, you become fixated on someone else's version of success. This mindset blinds you to your own accomplishments and makes it harder to appreciate the unique journey that has brought you to where you are today. Comparison also undermines your confidence. It's hard to feel good about yourself when you're constantly measuring your success against others. When you compare your achievements, your relationships, or even your appearance to someone else's, you are allowing external factors to determine your self-worth. Your value is not defined by external achievements, but by who you are on the inside. True confidence comes from recognizing your inherent worth, your talents, and your ability to create the life you want, independent of the opinions or accomplishments of others. Another mistake people make when they compare themselves to others is that they forget to embrace their own strengths. You may be looking at someone else's success and feeling as though you can't measure up, but you're not giving yourself credit for the unique gifts and abilities you bring to the table. You may excel in areas where others struggle, but if you're too focused on their strengths, you might miss your own. Your strengths are just as valuable, and the more you recognize and embrace them, the more you can leverage them to create your own version of success. The key to overcoming this habit of comparison is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking at where others are, look at where you are and where you want to go. Reflect on your goals, your dreams, and the progress you've made. Cultivate gratitude for your own journey and recognize that every step you've taken has been part of your growth. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you can start to appreciate the beauty of your own path and the unique story you are creating. It's also important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, rather than those who perpetuate the culture of comparison. A supportive community encourages you to focus on your own growth and progress, rather than making you feel as though you're competing with everyone around you. Positive, uplifting relationships can help remind you of your worth and encourage you to continue striving toward your goals without the need to measure up to anyone else. In conclusion, the habit of comparing yourself to others is one of the most detrimental mistakes you can make in life. It steals your joy, sabotages your confidence, and distracts you from the unique journey that is meant for you. Your life is yours to create, and your success should be measured by the person you are becoming, not by how you stack up against others. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, focus on your own growth, your own path, and your own success. The only competition you have is with the person you were yesterday. Keep moving forward. Embrace your unique journey and recognize that your worth is not defined by anyone else but yourself. One of the most crucial mistakes we can make in life is the failure to set clear and meaningful goals. A goal is not just a destination. It is a powerful motivator that drives us forward, keeps us focused, and helps us measure our progress. Without goals, we often wander aimlessly, unsure of where we are headed or how to get there. Many people go through life reacting to circumstances rather than actively shaping their future. They become passive participants in their own lives, waiting for opportunities to fall into their laps instead of going after them with intention. This lack of direction leads to a sense of frustration, confusion, and a feeling of being stuck. It's essential to recognize that without clear goals, we are simply drifting through life. And it is in the pursuit of goals that we find purpose and fulfillment. Setting clear goals is the foundation of personal success and achievement. Goals give us something to strive toward, a reason to wake up every morning with a sense of purpose. When we don't have goals, we often find ourselves busy but not productive, occupied but not progressing. Time slips away, and we may look back after months or years and wonder why we haven't achieved more. This is the danger of living without purpose or clear intention. It's easy to get distracted by the noise of daily life, by other people's expectations, and by the demands of work, family, and society. But if we don't take the time to define what we truly want, we risk waking up one day feeling unfulfilled, knowing that we've spent years chasing after the wrong things, or simply letting life pass us by. Goals serve as a roadmap to success. When you set a clear goal, you are taking ownership of your life and creating a path toward achieving something meaningful. It's not enough to simply wish for a better life or hope that things will improve. We have to be proactive. Clear, well-defined goals allow us to break down big aspirations into smaller, manageable steps. They give us direction, and each step we take brings us closer to our destination. Without goals, we lack focus. And without focus, we waste time and energy on things that don't serve our greater purpose. One common mistake people make is setting vague, unrealistic, or poorly defined goals. A goal like, I want to be successful or I want to lose weight, is too broad and lacks the specifics needed for real progress. Success means different things to different people, and simply desiring it isn't enough to create a strategy for achieving it. Likewise, the goal of losing weight is too general. How much weight do you want to lose? By when? How will you track your progress? Without these specifics, you can't measure your progress. And without measurement, it's easy to lose motivation. It's critical to set smart goals, goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A well-defined goal gives you clarity and direction, and it allows you to stay focused on the necessary steps to make it a reality. Another mistake many people make is failing to break their larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the size of a goal, especially when it feels distant or unattainable. When we look at a big goal in its entirety, it can seem daunting, and the fear of failure can stop us from even starting. But when we break a large goal into smaller, more achievable tasks, we can make progress one step at a time. Each small victory brings us closer to the bigger picture, and as we see our progress, our confidence grows. Instead of focusing on how far we have to go, we start celebrating the milestones along the way. This not only keeps us motivated, but it also makes the journey more enjoyable and less overwhelming. It's also important to be adaptable when pursuing our goals. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things don't go according to plan. It's easy to become discouraged or give up altogether when faced with setbacks. But setbacks are part of the process. They are not indicators that we should quit, but rather opportunities to learn, grow, and adjust our approach. Flexibility is key to long-term success. If one path doesn't work, don't be afraid to explore other options. Be willing to pivot, adjust, and keep moving forward with renewed focus and determination. The process of achieving goals is rarely a straight line, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances is what separates those who succeed from those who give up too soon. Another mistake people make is not holding themselves accountable. When we don't have someone or something holding us accountable, it's easy to procrastinate or lose motivation. The discipline to stay on track with our goals comes from within, but it can be helpful to have external accountability as well. This can come in the form of a mentor, a coach, or simply a friend who supports your aspirations and checks in on your progress. Accountability helps you stay committed even when the going gets tough, and it keeps you focused on the bigger picture. It's often said that what gets measured gets done, and having a system in place to track your progress can make a significant difference in your ability to stay on course. Ultimately, goals are not just about achieving success, they are about becoming the person you were meant to be. The pursuit of a goal transforms you in ways that go beyond the external achievement. It builds character, resilience, and determination. Each step you take toward your goal shapes who you are and prepares you for the next phase of your journey. The process of setting and working toward goals teaches you discipline, patience, and the importance of persistence. And when you finally reach your destination, it's not just the achievement itself that brings satisfaction, but the person you have become along the way. In conclusion, the failure to set clear and meaningful goals is one of the most significant mistakes we can make in life. Without goals, we lack direction, purpose, and motivation. Setting clear, well-defined goals gives us something to strive toward, helps us stay focused, and ensures that we are making progress in the right direction. Break down large goals into smaller, manageable steps. Be adaptable when things don't go according to plan, and hold yourself accountable for your progress. In doing so, you'll find that the pursuit of your goals not only leads to success, but also transforms you into the best version of yourself. So start today. Define your goals, take action, and watch as you create the life you've always dreamed of. Another profound mistake that many people make in life is the tendency to prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term success. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, temptations, and instant gratification. From social media notifications to the latest trending apps, we are surrounded by things that promise immediate rewards. The problem is that these instant pleasures often come at the expense of our long-term goals and personal growth. This short-sighted approach can have serious consequences on our lives, holding us back from realizing our true potential and achieving the success we desire. It's essential to recognize that true fulfillment and lasting success require patience, discipline, and the ability to delay gratification. The allure of instant pleasure is a powerful force. It promises immediate satisfaction, whether through indulgence in food, entertainment, or even the fleeting dopamine hit we get from scrolling through our social media feeds. While these activities can feel good in the moment, they offer little in terms of lasting benefit. When we constantly chase after these short-term rewards, we begin to lose sight of our deeper, more meaningful goals. We end up distracted, disconnected from our true purpose, and unable to focus on the work necessary for long-term success. One of the dangers of prioritizing immediate gratification is that it leads to a lack of discipline. Success is not a matter of chance or luck. It's the result of consistent effort over time. The most successful people in life have learned to delay the urge for quick pleasures in favor of investing in their future. They understand that the road to success is often long and requires sustained effort, and they are willing to make sacrifices along the way. By contrast, when we prioritize short-term enjoyment, we give in to temptations that ultimately take us further away from our goals. Whether it's procrastination, overindulgence, or distractions, the pursuit of instant pleasure disrupts our ability to focus on the work that truly matters. The principle of delayed gratification is one that's often underestimated. It's about having the wisdom to see beyond the immediate moment and understand that the choices we make today shape the future we'll experience. Think about the times when you've delayed instant gratification for a larger goal. Maybe you put in the hours of study before an important exam, or you worked overtime to save up for something important. The effort you put in may not have been fun at the time, but it paid off in ways that quick pleasures never could. It's this ability to make difficult decisions in the moment for the sake of future rewards that separates those who achieve lasting success from those who settle for temporary satisfaction. A critical aspect of delaying gratification is understanding the value of patience. We live in a world that encourages us to want everything immediately. Whether it's instant streaming, quick food delivery, or fast replies to texts, the idea of working towards something over time and waiting for the reward seems almost foreign to many people today. However, success is rarely instantaneous. It takes years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to achieve meaningful goals. But the beauty of this process is that as you work toward your goals, you grow. You develop skills, gain experience, and cultivate resilience. These are the qualities that ultimately lead to success, not the fleeting moments of instant gratification. When we learn to prioritize long-term success over short-term pleasure, we not only create better outcomes for ourselves, but also develop a stronger sense of self-portrait and personal responsibility. The more we practice delaying gratification, the stronger our willpower becomes. We begin to see ourselves as individuals who can stick to a plan, resist distractions, and stay focused on what truly matters. This discipline is an essential part of building a successful and fulfilling life. The short-term rewards we chase often lead to a cycle of dissatisfaction. For example, when we overindulge in food, drink, or entertainment, we may feel pleasure in the moment, but soon after we experience regret, guilt, or a sense of emptiness. These fleeting moments of satisfaction don't contribute to our long-term happiness or personal growth. On the other hand, when we make sacrifices for the sake of our future, the rewards are often far greater. The sense of pride that comes from accomplishing a challenging goal, the fulfillment of living a life aligned with your values, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've made the right choices. These are the true rewards of focusing on long-term success. One area where the pursuit of short-term pleasure often wreaks havoc is in financial management. Many people spend impulsively on things that bring them immediate joy, like new clothes, gadgets, or dining out, without thinking about the future. As a result, they fall into debt or struggle to save for long-term goals, such as buying a home or securing retirement. The key to financial freedom is learning to delay gratification. It's about resisting the temptation to spend money on things that won't add real value to your life, and instead investing in things that will pay off in the future. Whether it's building an emergency fund, saving for retirement, or investing in education or skills development, the rewards of delayed gratification in this area are immeasurable. Similarly, when it comes to relationships, prioritizing short-term pleasures over long-term growth can lead to superficial connections and unmet needs. Many people chase after temporary romantic or social interactions that provide instant gratification, but they neglect to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships that require time, effort, and commitment. Building lasting relationships takes patience, trust, and a willingness to invest in the long-term success of the connection. Those who focus only on short-term pleasures may find themselves feeling lonely, disconnected, or dissatisfied in their relationships. In conclusion, the mistake of prioritizing short-term pleasure over long-term success is one that many people make, but it is one that can be overcome with conscious effort and discipline. Delayed gratification is the key to building a successful, fulfilling life. It requires the ability to look beyond the immediate moment and make choices that are in alignment with your long-term goals. Whether it's in your career, finances, relationships, or personal growth, the ability to resist the allure of instant pleasure and stay focused on your bigger vision will ultimately lead to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Success takes time, effort, and sacrifice, but the rewards are far greater than anything that can be achieved through short-term indulgence. Keep your eyes on the prize, stay disciplined, and trust that the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. A crucial mistake many people make is neglecting to take care of their mental and physical health. Health is often seen as something that we can take for granted when we're young or when everything seems to be going well. However, the reality is that without good health, everything else in life becomes much more difficult. It doesn't matter how successful or rich you are. If you're physically unwell or mentally drained, all of that success can feel meaningless. It's easy to get caught up in the pressures of life, the hustle and bustle of daily routines, and the demands of work or family. But the truth is, without a focus on health, we are setting ourselves up for long-term struggles that can affect every aspect of our lives. Taking care of our mental and physical well-being should never be seen as optional. It is a necessity for a fulfilling and successful life. The first step in maintaining good health is understanding that it is not just about physical appearance or meeting certain standards set by society. It is about feeling good, being energized, and having the strength and clarity of mind to pursue our goals and dreams. Our physical health is the foundation of everything we do. Without energy, without strength, and without a body that functions well, it becomes incredibly difficult to stay productive, focused, and driven. How many times have you found yourself feeling sluggish or tired, unable to give your best effort because you neglected to prioritize your health? Whether it's poor eating habits, lack of exercise, or insufficient sleep, these factors can have a significant impact on your performance and overall well-being. The idea that I'll take care of my health later is one of the most dangerous mindsets because in reality, we cannot afford to put it off. Physical health is not only about how we look, but how we feel and how we function in our everyday lives. Exercise is crucial not just for maintaining a healthy body, but for boosting mental clarity and improving emotional resilience. Regular exercise has been shown to reduce stress, enhance mood, and increase productivity. It strengthens the heart, improves circulation, and helps regulate hormones, ensuring that our body functions optimally. On the other hand, lack of physical activity can lead to numerous health problems, including heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and even depression. Neglecting your body may seem like an easier path in the short term, but over time, the consequences can be debilitating and irreversible. We must recognize that our bodies are not invincible, and treating them with care and respect is essential for living a life full of vitality. Mental health is just as important as physical health, yet it's often overlooked or dismissed as something we can deal with later. In today's fast-paced world, mental well-being is constantly under attack. Stress, anxiety, depression, and burnout have become commonplace. With the constant demands of work, social expectations, and the pressure to achieve, it's no wonder that so many people struggle with their mental health. However, mental health is something we must nurture just as much as our physical health. If we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by negative thoughts, stress, or unresolved emotional issues, we begin to lose the clarity and focus needed to navigate life effectively. Mental health impacts our ability to think clearly, make good decisions, and engage fully with the world around us. Without a healthy mind, we lose our drive, our creativity, and our ability to problem solve. It's essential to prioritize mental well-being by managing stress, seeking help when needed, and making time for activities that nurture the mind. Whether it's meditation, therapy, journaling, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. In the pursuit of success, we often forget that mental and physical health are the driving forces behind everything we do. If you're not physically or mentally healthy, you're not operating at your best. How many people do you know who sacrifice their well-being in pursuit of career success, only to find that they are burnt out, stressed, or battling health issues? The unfortunate truth is that many people realize too late that they've neglected their health in exchange for the temporary satisfaction of achieving a goal. And even if that goal was attained, the cost to their body and mind may be far greater than any external achievement. The old saying, health is wealth, could not be more true. No matter how much money you make, no matter how successful you become, if you're not healthy, you won't enjoy those accomplishments. You won't have the energy to fully engage with life, and you won't be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. The mistake many people make is assuming that health will take care of itself, or that they can always catch up later. But when it comes to both mental and physical health, prevention is far more effective than intervention. Building habits of self-care, eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and taking care of your emotional health is far better than waiting until you're sick or overwhelmed to take action. Incorporating these habits into your daily routine might feel like an extra effort at first, but in the long run, you'll reap the benefits. You'll have more energy, a clearer mind, and the physical stamina to keep pushing toward your goals. Most importantly, you'll be able to live a life where your health supports your ambitions instead of hindering them. Taking care of your health is not just about avoiding illness, it's about thriving. It's about creating the foundation from which you can pursue your dreams, achieve your goals, and live a fulfilling life. When we neglect our health, we are essentially neglecting our future success and happiness. You might push through for a while, but eventually the toll on your body and mind will catch up with you. It's far better to invest in your health now through regular exercise, proper nutrition, mental self-care, and sufficient rest than to find yourself struggling later with preventable health problems. Your body and mind are your most valuable assets. Treat them with the care and respect they deserve, and you'll be equipped to tackle any challenge life throws your way. In neglecting your mental and physical health is one of the most significant mistakes you can make in life. Health is the foundation upon which all other aspects of life are built. Without good health, no amount of success, wealth, or achievement can bring true fulfillment. By prioritizing your well-being, you ensure that you are equipped to take on life's challenges with strength, clarity, and resilience. Treat your body and mind with care today, and you will create a future where you can continue to grow, achieve, and live life to the fullest. One of the most common mistakes people make is allowing the opinions of others to dictate their decisions and their sense of self-worth. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from others, especially in a world where social approval can feel like a currency. From the clothes we wear to the choices we make in our careers, relationships, and even our personal beliefs, there's often a constant pressure to conform to what others expect or approve of. But the problem with this is that it leads to a life that's not truly your own. When you base your decisions on what others think or expect, you lose touch with your authentic self and start living for others instead of for yourself. This mistake can lead to a life of dissatisfaction, regret, and unfulfilled potential. We live in a society where external validation is often seen as a marker of success. Social media platforms amplify this dynamic where likes, comments, and followers are equated with self-worth. But the reality is that this constant need for approval can be draining. It's easy to become fixated on what others think of you, trying to live up to their standards or trying to please them in every way. The pressure to fit into a particular mold, to be accepted or to be seen as good enough, can shape your choices in ways that are not aligned with your true desires or aspirations. Over time, this can erode your sense of self and leave you feeling disconnected from who you really are. You may end up making choices based on what others think is best for you, rather than what truly resonates with your heart and soul. The constant seeking of external validation can be particularly harmful when it comes to major life decisions. How often do we find ourselves making choices based on the expectations of our family, friends, or society? Many people go into careers they are not passionate about simply because they want to meet the expectations of their parents or society's standards of success. They may get the degree, the job, the title, but deep down, they feel unfulfilled. Or they may settle into relationships that don't align with their true needs or desires, just to avoid being judged or criticized by others. In doing so, they deny themselves the opportunity to pursue a path that would bring them genuine fulfillment. The fear of being judged or criticized can prevent you from taking risks or making the decisions that are right for you. You may begin to play it safe, always wondering what others will think, instead of following your own intuition or inner compass. But the truth is that no one else can live your life for you. No one else can feel your passions, your desires, or your dreams the way you can. Only you know what's truly important to you, what makes you come alive, and what will bring you the greatest joy and fulfillment. When you allow others to dictate your choices, you're essentially giving up your power and letting others shape your destiny. This might seem like a way to avoid conflict or disappointment, but in the long run, it leads to a life of compromise and unfulfilled potential. You may look back one day and realize that you spent years living according to someone else's idea of success, only to feel disconnected from your true purpose. The mistake of allowing others' opinions to rule your life is often rooted in fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or fear of failure. It's natural to want to belong, to feel accepted, and to avoid criticism. But the fear of what others think should never be the driving force behind your decisions. In fact, the more you live in alignment with your own values and desires, the more you will naturally attract people who resonate with who you truly are. You will find that the people who genuinely matter will respect your individuality, your choices, and your authenticity. And even if some people criticize or judge you, you'll develop the strength to realize that their opinions do not define you or your worth. It's also important to recognize that everyone has their own perspectives and limitations. The people whose opinions you value may have their own fears, biases, and insecurities, which influence the advice they give you. What works for one person might not work for you, and that's okay. It's crucial to discern whose opinions truly deserve to influence your life. While advice from trusted mentors or loved ones can be valuable, it's equally important to cultivate the courage to trust your own instincts and judgment. You have to be able to separate constructive criticism from negativity and know when to listen to your inner voice instead of the voices around you. Living authentically is about embracing who you are, regardless of external approval. It's about following your passions, even if they don't align with others' expectations. It's about making choices that reflect your values and beliefs, even if they might be unpopular or misunderstood by others. When you live authentically, you create a life that is uniquely yours, one that brings you fulfillment, satisfaction, and joy. The people who are meant for you, the opportunities that are aligned with your purpose, and the experiences that are in harmony with your true self will come into your life naturally. The journey to living authentically requires a deep level of self-awareness and self-acceptance. It's about learning to tune out the noise of external opinions and tuning in to your inner voice. It's about accepting that not everyone will agree with your choices, and that's okay. Not everyone has to understand your journey for it to be valid. You are the only one who knows what feels right for you. And when you make decisions from this place of authenticity, you'll find that you not only create a life of greater happiness and fulfillment, but you also inspire others to do the same. You'll become a beacon of possibility for those around you, showing them that it's possible to live freely and authentically, without constantly seeking validation from others. One of the greatest mistakes we can make in life is allowing the opinions of others to control our decisions and sense of self-worth. When you live for the approval of others, you give up your power to shape your own destiny. Instead, take ownership of your life, follow your passions, and trust in your own judgment. Live authentically, and you'll find that the right people and opportunities will naturally gravitate towards you. Be true to who you are, and the world will begin to reflect that authenticity back to you in ways that will lead to a much more fulfilling life. One of the most critical mistakes that many people make in life is failing to take responsibility for their actions and their circumstances. It's a natural tendency for some to blame others when things go wrong or to look for excuses when they fall short of their goals. This mentality of shifting blame rather than taking ownership can seriously hinder personal growth and success. The truth is, we are all responsible for our own lives. It doesn't matter where we come from or what challenges we face. The choices we make, the actions we take, and the mindset we cultivate determine the direction of our lives. By failing to take responsibility, we give away our power to change, to grow, and to create the life we desire. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that we are the architects of our own destiny. It means recognizing that while we may not always have control over external circumstances, we always have control over how we respond to them. Life will inevitably present us with obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. However, it's how we handle these moments that truly defines us. Blaming others or external factors for our problems may provide temporary relief, but it does nothing to solve the issue or move us forward. On the other hand, taking responsibility allows us to take control of our situation and to look for solutions, rather than staying stuck in a cycle of negativity and self-pity. One of the most common areas where people fail to take responsibility is in their relationships. It's easy to blame a partner or friend or family member for conflicts or misunderstandings. But when we place all the blame on others, we give up the opportunity to reflect on our own actions and behaviors. Relationships are a two-way street, and both parties contribute to the dynamics. If something goes wrong, it's important to look inward and ask yourself what role you played in the situation. Did you communicate clearly? Did you listen with empathy? Did you contribute to the problem in any way, even if unintentionally? Taking responsibility for your part in the conflict doesn't mean taking all the blame. It means owning up to the areas where you can improve. This mindset fosters growth and understanding, and it can lead to healthier, more harmonious relationships. Another area where taking responsibility is crucial is in our careers and personal goals. It's easy to blame external factors like the economy, your boss, or bad luck for not achieving your dreams. But the truth is, while external factors may influence our circumstances, they do not control our fate. The most successful people are those who have learned to take responsibility for their success, even in the face of challenges. They take proactive steps to improve their skills, expand their knowledge, and keep moving forward, regardless of the obstacles they face. They understand that success is not given to them, it is earned through hard work, persistence, and resilience. By taking responsibility for their actions and decisions, they empower themselves to create the life they want, rather than waiting for circumstances to change. In addition to our careers, taking responsibility is crucial in the way we manage our finances. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming the economy, the government, or other people for our financial struggles. While external factors may influence our financial situation, we have more control over our financial destiny than we often realize. How we manage our money, how we spend, how we save, and how we invest are all choices we can make. Blaming others for financial hardship often keeps people stuck in a cycle of debt and frustration. But when we take responsibility for our finances, we begin to make wiser choices, take actions to improve our financial literacy, and create the opportunities to build wealth over time. Whether it's budgeting, saving, or investing, taking responsibility means recognizing that we have the power to change our financial future through the decisions we make today. The same principle applies to our personal health and well-being. It's easy to blame genetics, stress, or a busy lifestyle for poor health. But the reality is that our health is a reflection of the choices we make every day. What we eat, how much we move, how much rest we get, and how we manage stress are all decisions we control. While some health issues may be beyond our control, the majority of health problems are a direct result of lifestyle choices. Taking responsibility for our health means making conscious decisions to take care of our bodies through proper nutrition, regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. By taking ownership of our health, we give ourselves the best chance to live a long, vibrant life. Perhaps one of the most important areas where we must take responsibility is in our mindset. It's easy to fall into a victim mentality, believing that life is happening to us and that we have no power to change it. This mindset keeps people stuck in cycles of negativity, complacency, and self-doubt. However, by taking responsibility for our mindset, we realize that our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes shape our reality. We may not always be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. A person who takes responsibility for their mindset understands that challenges are opportunities for growth, that failures are lessons, and that success is a journey that requires perseverance and self-belief. This mindset empowers us to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the path may seem. Taking responsibility is not about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or never facing adversity. It's about recognizing that we have the power to respond to every situation in a way that moves us closer to our goals and aspirations. It's about understanding that we can learn from our mistakes, adapt, and keep going rather than letting our mistakes define us. When we take responsibility for our lives, we take back our power. We stop waiting for someone else to change our circumstances or to make decisions for us. We become the creators of our own future. And with that comes the freedom to design a life that reflects our true values, desires, and potential. Failing to take responsibility for our actions and circumstances is one of the biggest mistakes we can make in life. When we refuse to take ownership, we give away our power to change, to grow, and to create the life we want. By taking responsibility, we empower ourselves to make better choices, learn from our mistakes, and shape our destiny. Whether it's in our relationships, careers, finances, health, or mindset, taking responsibility is the key to personal growth and success. It's time to stop blaming others and start taking ownership of our lives. Only then will we truly be able to live the life we are capable of living. One of the most impactful mistakes we can make in life is not setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining our mental, emotional, and physical well-being, yet many people struggle with establishing and maintaining them. Whether it's in our personal relationships, our work environment, or even with our own time and energy, failing to set boundaries can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of self-respect. It's easy to assume that we should always say yes to others or put their needs above our own. But this kind of mindset is both unsustainable and damaging. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish or rigid. It's about respecting yourself enough to protect your own well-being and ensuring that you have the energy and resources to give to others in a healthy, balanced way. When we fail to set boundaries, we risk becoming overwhelmed by the demands of others. Many of us have been conditioned to be people pleasers, to seek approval, or to avoid conflict by constantly accommodating others. While it's important to be considerate and compassionate, it's equally important to recognize that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly giving to others without considering your own needs, you will eventually burn out. You will feel depleted, resentful, and unappreciated, and your ability to truly help others or perform at your best will diminish. Boundaries are not walls that keep others out. They are lines that ensure you have the space and energy to be the best version of yourself, both for your own sake and for the sake of those you care about. One of the most significant areas where people struggle with boundaries is in their relationships. It can be challenging to say no to friends, family, or even romantic partners, especially when we fear their reactions or when we want to avoid causing tension. However, failing to set boundaries in relationships can lead to an imbalance of power and respect. When you don't assert your own needs or communicate your limits, you are allowing others to dictate your time, energy, and emotion. Over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and even anger. It can also cause a breakdown in the relationship itself, as the other person may not even realize that they are overstepping or taking advantage of you. Setting boundaries in relationships is about mutual respect. It's about being clear about your needs and making sure that your time, energy, and resources are respected. For example, if a friend continually asks for favors that you're unable or unwilling to provide, saying no is not only acceptable but necessary. Similarly, in a romantic relationship, it's crucial to communicate your emotional, physical, and personal boundaries to ensure that both partners feel valued and understood. Healthy boundaries in relationships create a space for both individuals to thrive and grow without feeling smothered, taken for granted, or controlled. Boundaries are equally important in the workplace. Many people feel obligated to go above and beyond for their jobs, working long hours, saying yes to every project, and putting their work above their personal life. While ambition and dedication are admirable, neglecting your own boundaries in the workplace can lead to stress, burnout, and even physical health issues. It's essential to set clear boundaries around your work hours, the scope of your responsibilities, and how much emotional energy you are willing to invest in your job. This does not mean being less committed or less productive. It means being strategic about your energy and time, ensuring that you are giving your best without sacrificing your well-being. Setting boundaries also extends to how we manage our time and energy. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to overcommit to social events, work projects, and personal obligations, leaving little room for rest, self-care, or pursuing your own passions. If you say yes to everything, you will quickly find yourself overwhelmed and unable to focus on what truly matters to you. By setting boundaries around how you spend your time, you ensure that you are prioritizing your most important needs. Whether it's taking time for your health, nurturing your relationships, or pursuing your personal goals. Furthermore, boundaries are crucial for mental and emotional well-being. In a world filled with constant distractions, negativity, and external pressures, it's easy to become emotionally drained or mentally exhausted. Protecting your mental space by setting boundaries around what you allow into your life is a form of self-care. This might mean limiting your exposure to negative news or toxic people, or deciding not to engage in conversations or situations that drain your energy. By doing so, you preserve your emotional health and create space for more positive, fulfilling experiences. It's important to note that setting boundaries is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice that requires consistency and courage. It can be difficult at first, especially if you are used to being a people pleaser or accommodating others at your own expense. But the more you practice setting boundaries, the easier it becomes and the more natural it feels. And over time, you'll begin to see the benefits. More energy, better relationships, improved self-esteem, and a greater sense of balance and control in your life. One of the key aspects of setting boundaries is communication. It's important to be clear and direct with others about your limits. This doesn't mean being rude or confrontational. Rather, it's about expressing your needs in a calm and assertive manner. For example, if you need some quiet time after a long day at work, communicate that to your family or friends in a way that is respectful of their needs while also honoring your own. When people understand your boundaries, they are more likely to respect them, and your relationships will be healthier as a result. It's also essential to recognize that setting boundaries does not make you a bad person, nor does it mean that you don't care about others. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you set healthy boundaries, you are showing others that you respect yourself and your own needs, and you are modeling healthy behavior for those around you. You are also creating a healthier dynamic where everyone's needs are respected and valued, leading to more harmonious and fulfilling relationships. One of the most important mistakes people make in life is failing to set boundaries. Boundaries are vital for protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. They allow you to take care of yourself, respect your own needs, and ensure that you are giving your best to others without sacrificing your own health and happiness. By setting boundaries, you create the space you need to live a balanced, fulfilling life, one that honors both your needs and the needs of others. So remember, it's not selfish to set boundaries. It's necessary for your personal growth and well-being. Take control of your life, protect your energy, and set those boundaries today. One of the most common mistakes we make in life is allowing fear to control us. Fear is a powerful emotion, and when we allow it to dictate our choices, it can hold us back from achieving our full potential. We all experience fear, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, or fear of rejection. However, what separates those who succeed from those who don't is how they respond to fear. It's not that successful people never feel fear. It's that they learn how to face it, manage it, and move forward in spite of it. The mistake lies in letting fear paralyze us, keeping us stuck in a cycle of inaction and missed opportunities. Fear often comes from a place of uncertainty or insecurity. But it's important to understand that fear is not a reflection of our capabilities. It's simply an emotional response to something unknown or unfamiliar. The root of fear is often our own mind telling us that we are not capable of handling a particular situation or that something bad is going to happen. But the reality is that fear is a natural part of life. And it's something that we all experience when we step out of our comfort zones. The problem is not the fear itself, but how we allow it to control our actions. For many of us, fear leads to procrastination. When we are afraid of something, whether it's a new job, starting a business, or taking a risk in a relationship, we often find ourselves putting it off. We convince ourselves that we are not ready or that we need more time to prepare. We may think that we will feel more confident tomorrow or that the right opportunity will come along eventually. But in reality, this is just the fear of failure talking. The longer we wait, the more fear takes root and the less likely we are to take action. We get trapped in a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. And as a result, we miss out on opportunities that could change our lives. One of the biggest areas where fear holds us back is in our career. Many people stay in jobs they don't enjoy simply because they are afraid of making a change. They may fear that they won't be successful in a new role, or they may worry about what others will think if they leave a stable job for something more uncertain. This fear of failure or fear of judgment can prevent us from pursuing our passions, from finding work that truly fulfills us. But the truth is, success is often found outside of our comfort zone. Taking risks, stepping into the unknown, and embracing uncertainty are essential components of personal growth. If we allow fear to keep us in the same place, we may never discover the opportunities that lie just beyond our current circumstances. Fear can also impact our relationships. We often fear rejection, criticism, or vulnerability, which can cause us to avoid truly opening up to others. We may hold back from expressing our feelings or being honest with our loved ones because we fear that they will judge us or leave us. This fear can create barriers in our relationships, preventing us from forming deep, meaningful connections. But when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and face our fears, we create the opportunity for authentic relationships to flourish. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a strength. It allows us to build trust and intimacy with others, and it opens the door for real connection. Another way fear affects us is in our personal growth. Many of us have dreams and goals that we want to pursue, but fear of failure holds us back. We may fear that we are not good enough or that we will not succeed. These fears can be paralyzing, causing us to give up before we even try. However, what we fail to realize is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every successful person has failed at some point. They have experienced setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. But they didn't let fear stop them. Instead, they learned from their failures, adjusted their approach, and kept moving forward. Failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace as part of the journey towards success. One of the key steps in overcoming fear is changing our perspective on it. Instead of viewing fear as something to avoid or something that holds us back, we can start to see it as a signal, a sign that we are about to step into something new and exciting. Fear can be a motivator, not a hindrance. When we feel afraid, it often means that we are pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, which is where growth happens. By reframing fear in this way, we can take the power away from it and use it to fuel our determination and drive. Another important step in overcoming fear is to take small, manageable actions. When we are faced with a fear-inducing situation, the idea of tackling it all at once can be overwhelming. However, if we break it down into smaller, more manageable steps, it becomes less daunting. Each small step we take builds our confidence and reduces the hold that fear has over us. Over time, as we continue to face our fears and take action despite them, we begin to build resilience and self-assurance. We prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling difficult situations and that fear does not have the power to control us. It's also important to surround ourselves with supportive people who can help us overcome our fears. When we are facing challenges or stepping into the unknown, it can be incredibly helpful to have a support system that encourages us, offers guidance, and reminds us of our strengths. Having someone to talk to, someone who believes in us, can help us push past the fear and take action. Sometimes fear thrives in isolation. But when we share our fears with others, we often find that they are not as big or as overwhelming as we once thought. We must practice self-compassion. Fear can sometimes cause us to be harsh with ourselves, especially when we feel like we are not measuring up or when we make mistakes. But it's important to remember that fear is a normal part of the human experience, and we are all doing the best we can. Instead of criticizing ourselves for feeling fear, we can acknowledge it, accept it, and move forward with kindness toward ourselves. This self-compassion helps to reduce the power that fear has over us and allows us to move through it with greater ease. In conclusion, fear is a natural and unavoidable part of life, but it should never control our actions or dictate our potential. The mistake is in allowing fear to paralyze us, keeping us stuck in a place of inaction and missed opportunities. The key to overcoming fear is to change our relationship with it. Instead of avoiding it, we can face it head on, take small steps toward our goals, and trust in our ability to navigate the unknown. Fear may never fully disappear, but when we learn to manage it and move forward despite it, we unlock our true potential and create the life we deserve. One of the most common and detrimental mistakes we can make in life is neglecting our health. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to push our well-being aside in the pursuit of success, wealth, or even the simple demands of daily life. Yet our health is the foundation of everything we do. Without good health, all the wealth, success, and achievements we pursue become meaningless. The mistake is not realizing that our health is our greatest asset, and it is our responsibility to take care of it every day. Too often we find ourselves caught in a cycle of prioritizing work, social obligations, or material pursuits over our physical and mental well-being. We push ourselves to work longer hours, eat unhealthy meals, and avoid exercise, all in the name of success. The problem is that this approach often leads to burnout, stress, and illness, which ultimately hinders our progress rather than helping it. A healthy body and mind are essential, not only for living a long life, but for being productive, focused, and capable of handling the challenges life throws at us. Many of us ignore the small warning signs, feeling tired all the time, experiencing frequent headaches, or not getting enough sleep. These signals from our body are easy to dismiss, but they should be seen as messages from within, urging us to take action. It's easy to convince ourselves that we don't have time to exercise or that we'll eat healthier tomorrow, but the truth is, neglecting our health now will only lead to bigger problems later. Chronic stress, poor eating habits, and a lack of physical activity can lead to serious health issues like heart disease, diabetes, and mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. When we think about neglecting our health, we often focus on the physical aspects, failing to exercise, eating poorly, or not getting enough sleep. While these are certainly critical, we must also recognize the importance of mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and the two are deeply interconnected. Stress, anxiety, and depression can take a significant toll on both our physical well-being and our ability to function effectively in daily life. Ignoring our mental health can lead to a downward spiral where we become more stressed, overwhelmed, and disconnected from our true selves. Just like physical health, mental health requires attention, care, and proactive effort. The mistake many people make is thinking that mental health issues are something to be ashamed of or that they'll simply go away on their own. In reality, mental health challenges need to be addressed with the same seriousness as physical health problems. If we have a broken leg, we wouldn't ignore it or hope it gets better by itself. Similarly, when we're feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, we must take steps to address these feelings before they spiral out of control. This could mean seeking therapy, practicing mindfulness, or finding ways to manage stress. Mental health is not something to be overlooked, and it's important to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. One of the biggest contributors to poor health is poor sleep. In a society that values productivity above all else, we often sacrifice sleep to get more done. However, what many people fail to realize is that lack of sleep has a significant impact on both our mental and physical health. Sleep is when our bodies heal, our minds process information, and we recharge for the day ahead. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to memory problems, weakened immunity, increased stress levels, and a heightened risk of serious conditions like heart disease and diabetes. A lack of sleep also impacts our emotional well-being. When we are sleep deprived, we are more prone to irritability, anxiety, and depression. Our ability to focus and make sound decisions is also compromised. It's important to prioritize sleep as a vital part of maintaining good health. Creating a bedtime routine, limiting screen time before bed, and ensuring that we're getting enough rest each night are all essential practices that contribute to a healthy lifestyle. Another area where people often make a mistake is in their eating habits. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to grab quick, processed foods that are high in sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. While this may seem like a convenient option, these types of foods can have long-term negative effects on our health. Poor nutrition can lead to weight gain, energy crashes, and an increased risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure. Additionally, poor eating habits can affect our mental clarity, mood, and overall sense of well-being. The mistake is thinking that food is just fuel, when in reality, what we eat directly impacts how we feel and function. A balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, provides our bodies with the nutrients needed to perform at their best. Taking the time to plan and prepare healthy meals is an investment in our health and productivity. Eating mindfully and avoiding emotional eating or overeating can also help us maintain a healthy relationship with food and avoid unnecessary health problems in the future. Exercise is another crucial element of maintaining good health, but it's something that many people neglect, especially when they are busy or overwhelmed. The mistake is believing that exercise is something that can be put off or is only necessary for those trying to lose weight. Exercise is not just for weight loss. It's a key component of overall health. Regular physical activity helps improve cardiovascular health, boosts mood, reduces stress, and improves sleep. It also enhances cognitive function, helping us think more clearly and make better decisions. The great news is that exercise doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Whether it's going for a walk, doing yoga, or participating in a sport, the important thing is to stay active. Finding an activity that we enjoy can make exercise feel less like a chore and more like a positive habit. Even small amounts of physical activity can have a profound impact on our health and well-being. Ultimately, neglecting our health is a mistake that affects every area of our lives. When we don't take care of our bodies and minds, we limit our ability to succeed and experience the fullness of life. Good health is not something to take for granted. It's an ongoing commitment that requires time, effort, and awareness. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we prioritize our health, we create a strong foundation for success in every other area of life. So make the decision today to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and watch how it transforms your life. Another critical mistake that many people make in life is staying stuck in their comfort zones. We are often taught to find stability, to seek security, and to avoid taking risks, which creates an environment where we become comfortable in our routine and familiar surroundings. While this may seem like a sensible approach to life, staying within the confines of our comfort zone can limit our potential, stifle our growth, and prevent us from experiencing the fullness of life. The danger lies in the fact that we become complacent, thinking that we are safe and content, when, in reality, we are missing out on the opportunities that come from challenging ourselves. Our comfort zone is the place where we feel secure, where things are predictable and manageable. However, the problem arises when we settle into this space for too long, believing that it is all we need to be happy or successful. In reality, growth never happens when we stay in a place of comfort. Growth happens when we step outside of what is familiar, when we challenge ourselves to do things we've never done before, and when we push past the limits that we have placed on ourselves. The mistake is in thinking that comfort equals happiness or success, when in fact true fulfillment comes from embracing discomfort and pursuing new experiences. When we stay in our comfort zone, we stop taking risks. Risks are a natural part of growth, whether it's in our career, relationships, or personal development. Risk allows us to face uncertainty, to stretch our abilities, and to learn from our failures and successes. Without risk, we are simply going through the motions of life, avoiding any situation that might bring discomfort. But the truth is that taking risks is the only way we can truly discover our potential. Whether it's applying for a new job, starting a business, speaking in public, or even pursuing a passion that excites us. These are the things that push us beyond the boundaries of what we know and open the door to a life filled with new possibilities. Another mistake that comes with staying in the comfort zone is the fear of change. Change is often viewed as a threat to our stability, and as a result, we resist it. Whether it's a change in our career, our relationships, or our lifestyle, we become hesitant to embrace the unknown. However, it's important to understand that change is a natural part of life. Without change, we remain stagnant, and stagnation leads to frustration, dissatisfaction, and missed opportunities. Growth requires change. It requires us to let go of the familiar and embrace the unfamiliar, to be willing to adapt to new circumstances, and to remain open to new ideas and experiences. Change is not something to fear. It is something to welcome, as it brings with it the chance to grow, evolve, and become the person we are meant to be. Furthermore, staying in our comfort zone often means we stop learning. We may think that we have already acquired all the skills and knowledge we need, but the reality is that there is always more to learn. Life is a continuous journey of learning and self-improvement, and when we stop challenging ourselves, we stop growing intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Learning requires curiosity, a willingness to make mistakes, and the humility to accept that we don't know everything. When we step out of our comfort zone, we expose ourselves to new ideas, new perspectives, and new opportunities to expand our knowledge. This keeps us mentally sharp and engaged with the world around us. Without learning, we risk becoming complacent and disconnected from the ever-changing landscape of life. One of the most powerful reasons to step outside our comfort zone is the potential for increased confidence. When we challenge ourselves and succeed in something we initially feared or doubted, it builds our self-assurance. It reminds us that we are capable of more than we thought, and that we have the strength and resilience to overcome obstacles. Each time we step out of our comfort zone, we reinforce the belief in our own abilities. And this confidence becomes a driving force for future growth. It helps us take on even bigger challenges, knowing that we have the tools and mindset to handle whatever comes our way. The longer we stay in our comfort zone, the more we limit our opportunities for personal growth, and the less confident we become in our ability to take on new challenges. Staying in a comfort zone can have a negative impact on our relationships. When we resist change and refuse to step outside our familiar patterns, we can become stagnant in our interactions with others. We may avoid difficult conversations, shy away from trying new experiences together, or settle into routines that don't allow for growth in our relationships. True connection comes from vulnerability, from trying new things, and from taking risks together. When we remain in our comfort zones, we miss the opportunity to deepen our relationships and to create meaningful memories with the people we care about. Living in our comfort zone can also prevent us from pursuing our true passions. Many people dream of starting a business, traveling the world, or pursuing an artistic endeavor, but fear holds them back. They worry about failing, about not having the right skills, or about what others might think. The truth is that every successful person had to step outside their comfort zone to achieve their goals. They took risks, faced their fears, and worked through challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the willingness to step into the unknown. Your dreams, no matter how big or small, require you to take action and step beyond what feels comfortable. It's also important to remember that the comfort zone is not just about physical or external challenges. It's also about our mindset. Often, we limit ourselves with thoughts and beliefs that keep us confined to a small, predictable existence. We tell ourselves that we're not capable of more, or that success is only for certain people. These self-imposed limitations are just as restricting as the physical comfort zone, and they prevent us from reaching our full potential. Stepping outside of this mental comfort zone requires changing our mindset, embracing possibility, and being willing to fail and learn from our mistakes. Staying stuck in your comfort zone is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in life. It may feel safe and secure, but in reality, it's keeping you from realizing your true potential. Growth, success, and fulfillment are all found when we step into the unknown, when we challenge ourselves, and when we take risks. The more we step outside of our comfort zone, the more we unlock our abilities and discover new opportunities. Life is too short to stay in a place of complacency. Take the leap, embrace the discomfort, and experience the transformation that comes from stepping into a life that is truly your own.